Oh yeah, we're getting real wet here. We're recording, here we go. I'm showing you kind of day in the life-ish. Yeah, that's not great. We got, Godzilla basically, he's huge. Some people swear this thing will treat all the algae. Look at this little cutie. Isn't it adorable? Ooh, enjoy nature daily. Yeah, come on in. The water's fine. Hey everybody, Cory from Aquariumcoop. It's another day. In fact, it's the day after the last video. So now, I'm showing you kind of day in the life-ish. Because I said I got to do all that work of testing stuff and all that, and I thought, why not show some of it? So, I've got kind of, three projects laid out for today so far. We'll see how far we get. One is kind of talking about a warehouse. We're going to be building a much larger warehouse because we can't really bring in new products or anything until we get a bigger warehouse. And so part of that is prepping. Now, when we had tanks built, so these tanks over here by, I think it was TrueView, the lead time on them was nearly 2 years. COVID played a part of that, but even the time before that was a long time as well. We need hundreds of these tanks. We need them custom dimensions, and from who we've reached out to in America, no one really wants to do it. In fact, TrueView was like, yeah, I don't know if we want to do this anymore. We've had them do it twice for us, but our numbers keep going up. And so if we need 300 of these, that's going to take them maybe even longer than 2 years. And the trick is putting the seams together, like making a box is the same amount of seams you have to weld, whether it's this big, or that big. And so they don't really make a whole lot of money on these, and so they put these in between. They're filler, right? These are glass tanks from custom aquariums, but the way it would work if these were glass was when customers aren't ordering bigger tanks they actually make money on, they'll make these, and maybe each one of these they make 50 bucks, right? Something like that. But that's not enough to really keep the workers doing it all the time, and so it doesn't make sense. So then we're going, okay, well, we need a bigger warehouse, and we got to order hundreds of tanks to do this, to expand plants. And we don't want to wait years to get that done. One, it's hard on the business of outlaying that much cash and waiting years for it to be completed. And two, we don't want to stifle growth. So this is a tank we had made in China. Now, this company is not an aquarium manufacturer. They are an acrylic manufacturer in China that we had found. We've used them on some projects in the past. If we put in a clip, all of our betta systems use this company. They also didn't make aquariums, but we had to make little miniature aquariums, and it worked out great. So this is their sample warehouse tank, as you can see right here. Sample warehouse tank came wrapped in styrofoam, and this is their attempt to recreate those. And what I can see here is these are not show quality tanks. So that's the first and foremost. The welds, so when you glue acrylic, it's called an acrylic weld because it welds the plastic together. But we can see here like, ooh, is that just a gap that didn't get it, or did that made up really well and then this didn't made up so well? And so it's gonna be stuff like that. The inside, real nice and polished. I like that a lot. But the outside, real jagged. Where the glue is, they need to come back and like buff or get, like I could cut myself if I wasn't careful on this. And so when you start looking at the seams and just like, you look down here like, what is going on with this? This is real messy. And you can fit your fingernail in there a little bit. Yeah, that's not great. And so I've got to test fill this with water. And is this good enough quality to just keep plants and do its job? Like, wow, they're getting real loose with that glue. I don't know if you guys can see it. But right here, that's a lot extra glue down here. But again, no one wants to do it. They don't make a lot of money on it. I mean, they might, but in America, the labor market's expensive, and so we'll see how it goes. But we need hundreds of these, and we need them in I guess we don't need them that soon, but we can't wait 2 or 3 years. So it could be like 6 months is when we need them to show up in a cargo container. And so build quality, I guess my takeaway is don't go to China with a non-acrylic tank manufacturer. So there's that. But overall, they did a pretty good job. Now, what are some of the features? We want all the bulkheads put in for us. That saves us time. And then all the back have rounded corners, which our other ones did too, but they're just bending the acrylic. So they take one long piece of acrylic and they bend it, and that's the outside frame. We also want black on all the sides so that it is not see-through. We use these same type of tanks at the new retail store expansion. You'll probably see that when I film tomorrow, which will be in a few weeks probably for you to see it. But this quality of tank would not go in a retail store or your home. Where these are in between. Now, they also said the same thing of like, look, we're not making a lot of money on these. Quality is not gonna be top tier, and you run into extra problems. It is hard to weld black seams because you can't see the glue very well. But in an instance where it's gonna sit basically like this and hold plants in a warehouse, this will work out great. I think, as long as it holds water. So the pricing is a bit better, but the timeline is the key here. All right, next up, I'm gonna go work on the pond, or at least, show you guys I'm gonna do that. So I bought some supplies here, and so what this is a giant diffuser. Think of it like a giant air stone for a very big pond. Got the instructions. This is basically a powder-coated weighted plate, so it's heavy. And then you screw in this, which is basically a big air stone. It's got a lot, let's see if we can see that, a lot of little holes in it. And then you hook up a giant air pump to it. Ooh, I do have an extra. Bing! So I can just use that little baby boy. That's good. We do sell that, I guess. So we do sell those. But the key is, when you start pumping all that air into a pond, the big problem you're gonna run into is this right here. Now, what is this, you ask? This is big airline tubing. I test fitted this part that screws into here, just like that. By the way, these had a cool feature I'd never seen before. Maybe you guys have seen it, maybe I never have. This barb that's meant for air, it has in a built-in flapper, like a little check valve type of thing. I thought that was kind of neat. I'd never seen that before. So these are purpose-built. Normally, I would just grab one of these from, the old Home Depot or the Lowe's or whatever, and never seen that part before. So kind of cool. But over here, we got this. Now, if you fill, this is a 100-foot line. If you fill this with air, normally it would float. This here is weighted, so it's heavy. So you can throw it out in the pond or put it in your tank or whatever, and it's heavy enough that it's gonna sink on its own, so you don't have this big old line floating in your pond. So we've got to hook that up. I've got to adapt this little hole to that big air pump. So that's going to take a trip to Home Depot probably, because all of my parts are at the store expansion. So that's not great. Same with my tools. And then we're going to hook that up hopefully today. Temporary, because I got to order like a decoration rock to cover the air pump, and I got to make sure I buy secure extension cords. And then long term, actually get lines buried. But since I don't know where stuff's going yet, I haven't dug any trenches or anything. I kind of got to play with it. And we'll see the pond today, which is real low on water. So then, I was telling you I was going to test out a algae product. So here we have it. This Green Water Labs has been spending insane amounts of money on the internet to promote. And why do I know that? Because it hits me all the time as paid promotions through Facebook and Instagram and all of that. And in theory, it is a proprietary plant extract of 2%, some acids, and 97% water. And some people swear this thing will treat all the algae. Now, Cory, in the last video, didn't you just go get on your high horse and say don't use chemicals? Yep. I've never used this one before. And maybe it's more natural. Maybe not. But I do think it's part of my job from time to time to test products that I find intriguing or I see a lot of people using, so that when they ask me a question, I can advise them. Now, this thing, if we read the directions, which I think it's awesome, they're a small company, they're still writing in batch numbers by hand. That's a lot of work when you start doing thousands of them. Dosing, add 1 to 2 ounces, 3 to 6 capfuls, weekly for every 10 gallons in your tank. Now I bought 3 bottles so I can keep this going. But in a 40-gallon tank, this is a 16-ounce thing, I put half of this bad boy in there. So I thought, why not get one of these algae-filled tanks that have some inhabitants? We've got shrimp and snails and planaria in here. Why not treat this? We've got hair algae, we've got different type of algae, we've got different type of algae again. And maybe this thing's a miracle and we contact the company, we start selling it and it's the best thing ever. Or maybe it doesn't work, I have no idea. So officially I'm gonna say, don't buy this yet. And I know there's lots of people that be like, I've bought it and it works miracles. I also watch people do that with a lot of products and they don't do enough testing to go, well, how do you know it wasn't gonna get better itself? Or how do you know another change didn't do that? So we'll start here with one basic thing of, I'm gonna try it. And then if it works, then we'll start putting it in trials of like, well, let's try A/B, you know? So like, what if I take, and I divide this tank and silicone it or something so that you can't get to the other side, or, you know, A/B test two like tanks. Like if I set up two brand new tanks and they both had diatom algae like this, and then I treat one, I don't treat the other, would it fix it, right? So things like that, because when we endorse chemicals, like the meds and stuff we use, which is very few actually, as far as chemical goes, most companies will just be like, yeah, we'll put it on the shelf, we'll sell it, whatever. We want to make sure it works because you guys are going to email customer service and go, hey, it killed this, or B, it's not working, and we know the ins and outs, and I need to create enough information that our customer service team can create wikis so that we can look it up and go, okay, well in testing, we saw that there was a pH drop, or there was this or was that, because there's warnings on here. Basically says, we're not responsible for killing all of your fish. And, you know, right here it says, follow the directions, may change the pH imbalance. And so we want to know how those things happen. So I like to first see if a product works. If it works, then I like to see how can I break it. If I can break it, then I know how to prevent other people from getting into that, oops, don't do that scenario. So I'm going to dose half of this in here right now. We'll see if everything is alive or dead tomorrow or whatever. And, you know, I don't want these shrimp to die, but I did breed them all and make them. But something has to give their life, you know, a chance here. And so I don't want to just dose a tank that doesn't have any and then find out it's a shrimp killer or a planaria killer, which would be a benefit, or a snail killer. So I have to have some test subjects, and these guys are them because we got algae. So I'm going to dump that in, and then I think we're going to probably start with the pond stuff. There's some other things I want to do today too. I think I'm going to move finally all these hatchet fish. I think they're going to go move in with the turtles over there, because so another idea, I was thinking like, yeah, that'd be kind of cool because they could jump up, and if there's any little mites or flies, because sometimes I get mites in this one, they may jump out and get it. That'd be cool. And then I thought, ooh, I should really get splash tetras for this aquarium. So what splash tetras do, they jump out of the water in the wild. They jump out of the water and lay their eggs on a leaf out of the water so nothing can eat them. And then they splash water and keep them wet for days until they hatch, and they fall back into the water. And I thought, wouldn't that be pretty neat if I set that up in here where the splash tetras are doing their thing? That'd be kind of fun. And so I am going to put the hatchet fish in here. I knocked down the algae as you guys saw in the previous video. And then right here, I finally ordered and installed my basically strainer, because I ordered the wrong size and then it came in with the threaded, and it's not, it's just a slip in. And so now I've got this bullseye, and half the reason I needed the bullseye, I can't move any of the babies in with the adults because they could go down, right? So if I have these little babies and fish and that kind of stuff here, let's see if I can get this out on camera, they could go down that hole, and that'd be a sad way to lose a turtle, a little baby turtle. Now the adults, no problem, but the babies, they eventually need to upgrade from over here, which we cleaned their algae yesterday too, so we'll be able to see them. These little baby guys, you can see we've got different sizes. We still have little runty here, we've got a little mid guy, we've got, you know, Godzilla basically, he's huge. And so as they start getting to the bigger size, some of them can start going to the bigger tank. So, you know, that's the plan. And when you do that with fish, by the way, we do this all the time. So you get people that get ahead. They get the lion's share of the food, which means little runty doesn't get as much food. And so when you start moving them to the bigger tanks, the little runt guys can catch up, right? And there's, you know, lots of these turtles. There's some hanging out in the plants there, which, you know, so far they haven't started munching on them, which is good. So if I can keep moving them in a timely manner, shouldn't lose the plants. I just got a bunch of algae, but, you know, these guppies are doing well. These are the Vienna guppies. So, yeah, kind of just working on moving stuff around, getting stuff going. And, you know, this week will basically be three days in the fish room kind of working on stuff. And so I got to balance it between stuff that, you know, like evaluation on this tank won't have a difference for 6+ months easily. Same with, you know, like products like that. It's like, well, I work on it today, but really it won't make a difference for like up to a year. Or, you know, like the little error piece of that, we're 2 years into it. So there's a lot of these things that instant gratification, cleaning algae, like, wow, that tank looks way better. And then there's things like I have to do the work today in the hopes that it'll pan out and 2 years from now, it'll be good. All right, I wanted to show you guys something a little different. One, I picked up a little sponge filter while I was at the warehouse to replace one over here for test fitting. So we're gonna do that today. Grab some more fried food because I was out. This stuff is dope. You should try it. And then I wanted to unveil this. What is this? Whew, Enjoy Nature Daily. It's made by Yeti. What? How much is that, Cory? What could I do to get that? How much? It's not for sale. You can't get one with no ordinary money. You have to get it with loyalty. Boom. The Aquariumcoop member. At 5 years, when you place an order on our website, aquariumcoop.com, we will send you one of these. So, how do I do that? You become a member on YouTube. You sit and wait 5 years, giving us $5 a month. That's a lot of money. Yeah, it kind of is. And then, when you place an order, well, actually it's 2 orders, because the first time you place an order, once you sync your account, it'll just tell us, ooh, we need to send them all these toys and stuff. And then the second time, they'll actually get added to your order. But this one right here, at 5 years, 60 months, which we just had people start getting it. So these are not cheap to have custom-made Yeti, you know, stainless steel. Hold on, need 3 hands with the wide mouth drink. And so yeah, you can't buy them, but you can get one. So I know 99% of people are bummed out, but I like to reward people that invest in us as a company. And a lot of you buy stuff from us, and that is investing, which I highly recommend. Become a member, and then you save 5% on the website once you sync once you sync up on the website. So if you spend $100 like a month, the thing's free, basically. You also get membership coins every year. There's also a special 5-year membership. This is for the 5-year edition, basically. You've been with us for a very long time, basically since I've been online, and we want to reward for that. And I think it's just a cool thing to have around. We upsized it to make it a little bigger one, a little more expensive, but I thought it was super cool. And hopefully you guys will enjoy it too. It's free. It's free. Obviously it costs money with the membership, so. But it's free to those who've already been. And I think there's a lot of other perks like the extra members only videos, and we hire someone every month to give a presentation to the club. In October, it'll be Dean, which that one sounds like a cop-out because like, hey, we see Dean all the time or see him enough. But usually we hire other experts we don't normally get to interact with, and we give them $500, we give them a webcam, we give them a headset, and we hope for the best that their technology is working, and we get a rad presentation. And now we've done it for almost like 2 years. So if you signed up today, you could watch 24 hour to hour and a half long talks. So, you know, there's a little plug for that. And I wanted to show this off because I know I haven't been live streaming lately, but I'm trying to get caught up in the fish room. So I still want to show you guys things like cool stuff like this. Trust me, I will live stream more. It's just right now I'm really trying to get back on the horse. So I'm gonna go install this with the new Easy Flow uplift, and I'll show you the difference. Look at this little cutie. Isn't it adorable? Well, it's about to rock this tank's world over here. I did move the hatchet fish, so they're doing their hatchety thing. So got that done. And now we'll see if this was attached to the old one. Oh, who would be this person that only gives myself 2 feet of this? Must have been me. I cannot do this one-handed, so I set it down. I'll show you. Ooh, that's a sound we want to avoid. Nothing worse than that. There we go. See the You see the flow? It's already pulling the surface film and everything from back there and jetting it. And you can see everything, well, you might be able to see it, but everything's coming around the corner. So we're getting this flow pattern in here. Where when you come to over here, it's a little bit louder. And you get this rippling, but stuff will settle out in the corners. You see that? Now this is, you know, not necessarily a problem. It's just, I think it's an optimization. This is slightly better, I think. What do I know, right? What do I know? I could be full of it. Now, this flow is set up fairly strong here. I might be able to go a little bit more, we'll see. Let me get in the way back here. Oh, right there. See, now I got it full bore. It's quite a bit of water going. Now, the pointed here is probably gonna put air, water up there, so I kind of want it in the middle. That way, all the bubbles should pop before putting calcium on the sides, which, where do we have that problem at? That problem exists like up here, basically. You see that, where it pops and puts the calcium? Yeah, we don't necessarily want that as much, so I like that. All right, what else are we doing today? We are still gotta do the pond stuff. I did dose the one tank, and now that this tank's free, I'm gonna put the other half in this 40 breeder, so we have 2 samples, because this tank's got lots of brown diatom algae, and a little bit of black beard algae, and black beard algae. Whereas this tank, not really black beard algae or brown algae as much. So I wanna test on different ones. Also, if that worked out, I would test it with like Vallisneria and stuff that we know is susceptible to like Excel or Easy Carbon. So the rest of this was going here. By the way, this stuff really smells like vinegar. Must be one of those acids that is in vinegar, I guess. So there's one bottle down. I think that was, I don't know, 20 bucks or something. Worth it. Part of the reason you become a member is so you can fund me $20 to try stuff out and then let you know if I think it works or not. And then eventually we end up get to sell it, and that kind of works out good too for a lot of things. It's catching the fish, so let's get that flow going. Boom. All right, now I'm gonna pack up the air pump. Actually, I'm gonna assemble this. I gotta find like some rinky-dink pliers or something to get this assembled. And then I'm gonna pack it all up and drive it down to the pond because it's gonna be 3 trips otherwise, and I'm wearing flip-flops and it's kind of wet out, so let's get started. So now, in theory, we just gotta go put this in the pond, and then I'll place a pump. We'll go buy the adapter, maybe some extension cords, and hopefully they got the extension cord like safety things for water, for rain and stuff. So that's a pretty good connection. I don't think that's gonna give. All right, here we go. I guess I should show you other things we've done. Put in a 1,000-gallon propane tank so that we have power, and a generator that can flip on, so that way the fish are safe and if I'm traveling and that kind of stuff. So when I say I've been working on stuff at home, I've actually been working on it so that travel's a possibility again. And then we come over here, that's where the pond is. So, you know, the house way up here, basically over here. And then we've got like campfire place down there, but you know, a couple acres down. And then over here, all this black plastic, we're killing all the grass so we can plant more native plants, because all of this kind of stuff, we want more of that, because this is where the water runs, and we get so many deer. Well, we want more deer, but birds, some deer, lots of coyotes, rabbits, native squirrels have come back, which is great because we haven't seen them in the couple years we've been here. Look how crazy this blackberry bush or whatever is doing. But you can hear just all the birds taking up residence in these cedar trees, and then all this like ivy and stuff. It's not great, but it would run down there, and the trees really struggled last year. So all the dead growth, all of this permanent like dead stuff happened last year, and so that's why I put in. We now have a water system coming from the house down here, and it waters all of these trees too, so that one, they don't get pushed over with a big windstorm, but two, we don't want them to die. And so, when we bought the house, the person before us, this used to be all dense growth, like past the pond. They tore it all out, made a big thing to mow. And some people like that, but I like nature. And so we're gonna try to kind of carve in a lot of nature, and then same on the other side, carve in a lot of nature. So there's just like a view from the house to the pond, so you can see all the ducks and geese and everything. But it's been fun even watching. We basically made little ponds, and all the birds come take bird baths and stuff. You can see them kind of down there, hopping around taking bird baths. So finish loading up my little car and drive it down there, and we'll see where we get, and then we'll drive from there probably to Home Depot. So I've got the basic supplies: air pump, weighted air line, and the air diffuser. Now here's the pond. 100 feet's longer than you'd think. It's like 100 feet. We're recording. Here we go. See if I get the flip-flop stuck. Good thing I got weighted hose behind me. It's like I'm dragging 100-foot heavy rope. Is that fish? Yep, baby koi. Good. Nature, you're awesome. All right. Whoa, it's slidey. Fairly cold. Oh, full of muck. Hey, a frog on the lily pad. Hey, little guy. It's a rock or a frog in my shoe. I want a big frog. Swim, little bud. Oh. So I can show you that. All these bubbles, when I take a step, it's like Peru. This is all mucky buildup that will release gases as you step. See? Oh yeah, we're getting real wet here. I'm not even close to halfway. Oh no, it's getting stuck like in Peru. Don't lose the flip-flaps. I don't know what's in the bottom of this. Whew. That's the halfway point. Torso in. Maybe I gotta try and swim with this thing. Oh, now the bugs are attacking. Whew. It's not that hot today. Look at that, I'm only this far away. Cold. Cold. Alright. It's hard to talk when it's cold. It's like 60-some degrees, which doesn't seem like a lot. When you look that up, it's kind of the dangerous temp. 16 under. Just gotta get used to it. Not get more wrapped up. Oh, come on. All right, these, let's see, flip-flops, you gotta go. You're holding me back. Get off there. So the reefs, one reason, they float when you're doing crazy stuff, stupid stuff. All right, let's get the second one out. Yeah, you can see, this is the muck that I want to hopefully get stirring up and out of here. Let's get this as clean as I can. All right, now I'm just gonna get hurt when I get out, but that's all right. Look at that, that's like I'm a pro throwing those things. All right, Senzo, eat your heart out. Just gotta wade. I can still touch the bottom, kind of. So the further I can get this in, there is that whole like, couldn't I have thrown it from that thing? And maybe it's long enough. I also don't want to break it. Oh, come on. This is when having people with you is probably a smart idea, but Sometimes you gotta work in the middle of the day, and everyone else is at work. This is a test in the Cory swimming skills. All I know is this thing better land correctly when I drop it way where I can't touch, because that'll be sad. Oh, heck yeah, I can touch. Haha, I made it past a little thingy. It's kind of rocky over here. Okay, let's do this. This might be where I want to be. So you can imagine if the water was another 4 or 5 feet, there's no way I could touch the bottom, so I had to wait till we were here. I think this is good. I think this is about right. You can see every hair on my arm. Oh God. Yeah, come on in. The water's fine. I think this is going down. Let's just make sure it sinks. Don't slice my foot off. I have no way to know if... Oh, my foot. I could use my foot. That's how I could know. Is this thing right side up? Heck yeah, it is. All right. Now, we go back. My wife's gonna lose it. She didn't know I was getting in the pond. She would never let me get in alone. Oh, this is the part that's all sinky. Oh, and it smells terrible, like rotten eggs. Ugh. Come on. Oh. A lot of bugs. Little snacks. All right, back into the goose poop. I'm a little bit wet and dirty, but you can see the kind of the line goes across and up onto the bank. And now I have to get an extension cord, but I think we got it pretty much. Now I gotta go fess up to the wife and take a shower so I can go to Home Depot. And I gotta do the walk of shame because I'm not gonna sit in my car this dirty. So that'll be fun. Well, I made my trip to Home Depot and bought some tubing. The problem's gonna be this. This is 3/8. Home Depot only sold down to 1/2 inch. So I've got to order something online so I can make that basically 3/4 to 3/8 transition, which means I can't get it done today. So I guess I order it and we do it in a couple days and finish up this video. What a letdown. All right, it's been a few days. I had to wait for Amazon parts to get here. I've just hooked it all up. And now we're ready for the maiden voyage here. Grab the plug. Plug it in. It's been raining for 3 or 4 days. All right, is it on? It's on. Oh, there it is. Not huge, but enough. It's, you know, the ripples going pretty far. I'll be interested to see what impact this has over the course of a year, you know. So not quite in the middle. Maybe we should have been a little more over here, and I can probably switch that next summer. But hard to know while you're in there. I would need longer weighted airline. So when the water comes down in, hopefully it's gonna mix and gunk will come up, which we can't see, and it'll come through this overflow and be self-cleaning a bit. And if I move that every year, hopefully maybe we take it from there, we put it over here, and then 2 years put it way over there and try to just, you know, see what this can do. But I'm interested to see how oxygen or flow and all of that will impact all the little lilies, the fish that are in here, the birds, the frogs, all that stuff. So I would say for about $400, mission accomplished. And you'll see over there by my car, I bought a little rock on Amazon, a fake rock. It was like 45 bucks. So now it covers it instead of using like a bucket or something, which will look better. Obviously, I still have an extension cord and I gotta dig that down, but for the test prototype, I'm calling it done.
We hope that you enjoyed this video. To watch another one just like it, click here.